Okay, welcome everyone. I'm happy to see so many have turned up for this event today. This is the first symposium organized by the Sustainable Heritage Research Forum here at Uppsala Universitet Campus Gotland. My name is Mattias Legner. I'm a professor in conservation and the deputy chair of my department, which is the Department of Art History. So I will begin to explain a bit about the aims of this forum and what we intend to do over the coming few years. The forum then is placed here, as I said, at the Department of Art History on Campus Gotland. But it's a forum that is intended to be used by the whole of the campus, and it's also intended to connect to surrounding society, especially here on Gotland. It also connects to different research programs and training programs that are carried out here on campus that have a focus on sustainability as a common denominator. The forum started its operation actually at the beginning of this year as a result of a major investment made by the university to actually support a number of different research profiles here in Visby on campus. So that means that we are actually working parallel to other kind of research centers and initiatives that are centered on sustainability and other topics that are strong here locally. So the main aim of the forum is to be and function as a platform and an arena for initiating, developing, establishing transdisciplinary research about sustainable heritage and conservation. It is thought to be a kind of a greenhouse where new and pioneering research is developed. And through different kinds of activities, such as this symposium here today, the forum should be a platform where new ideas and collaborations are initiated across disciplines and the department structure that we have at the university. It should also be a forum where academy meets other parts of society and discusses the interests of that are important to society, especially local community. But it's also important that this is carried out in collaboration with faculty here at the university. So it's an important aim of this forum to also engage researchers, teachers from practically all the departments represented here into these issues, which is not, it will not be an easy task, but that is one thing we will be working with in the coming years here. So by offering stimulating activities such as lectures, seminars, workshops, symposiums such as this one, this research forum becomes a venue for discussions on the connections between culture and sustainability. So I will go into a bit about the topic of today's talks, which is about, of course, sustainability and heritage. These are concepts, of course, with a multitude of meanings. They may be specific and distinct when they are dealt with one at a time, but then new things happen when we combine these two concepts, which makes them broad and ambiguous. The notions behind these concepts can, of course, be traced several centuries back in time. Ideas about sustainability are not new in themselves, but we can find them being talked about and practiced in earlier centuries. And also the idea of heritage has a long history. But it was quite recently, in the recent decades, that they were actually recognized as fields of academic research. And today we wish to go deeper into the connections between heritage and sustainability. So one way to understand sustainable heritage is to say that it aims at sustaining heritage and enabling heritage to contribute to sustainability. But there are, of course, also other ways to understand it. And despite quite an amount of research recently, this field moves in various directions. It is transdisciplinary in its approach and requires the collaboration of researchers from a number of disciplines, as well as from the humanities and from the social and natural sciences. Before this symposium was organized, we had a number of questions we wanted to shed light on. And I'm just going to mention one of them, maybe that could work as an umbrella here. And that is how can heritage contribute to sustainable development? And how does sustainable development affect cultural heritage? So in order to shed light on this, we have invited 3 speakers who have shown both a deep and prolonged interest in the issue of sustainability and an ability to arouse discussion and produce interesting results within this theme. So there's been a slight change in the program for today, which means that first out will be Stefan Simon. He's the director of the Radken Research Laboratory at the National Museums in Berlin. Trained as a heritage scientist, Simon earned his PhD in chemistry from the Ludwig Maximilian University in Munich. He served as a council member and vice president of ICROM, the International Center for the Study of the Preservation and Restoration of Cultural Property. As an inaugural director of Yale's Institute for the Preservation of Cultural Heritage and director of the Yale's Global Cultural Heritage Initiatives, Stefan Simon prioritized the advancement of sustainable conservation strategies triggered by global climate change and the Green Museum debate. So in his lecture, Simon will speak about cultural heritage, the essential record of human existence and identity, and how it is ephemeral, and although it can be quite resilient, it cannot be regarded as a renewable commodity. Then after Simon's lecture, we have on Zoom, Kalliopi Fuseki, who is an associate professor in sustainable heritage management and director of research at the Institute of Sustainable Heritage of the University College London. She's also the program lead for the Master of Science in Sustainable Heritage and supervisor of a number of PhD students in the field of sustainable heritage management. So her research involves or revolves around participatory heritage practices in the context of heritage-led regeneration and sustainable urban transformation. She will speak about how heritage can be seen as a systemic process, as its transformation depends on the interactions between immaterial values assigned by its users and its material change. Thus, in the context of sustainable heritage, this premise calls for the use of socio-technical methods and approaches, as she calls it, that can enable us to study the interactions of the material and immaterial dimensions of heritage, as well as the change and impacts of this interaction over time. The last speaker then after lunch will be Sofia Labadi, who is a professor of heritage at the University of Kent in the United Kingdom and an Arts and Humanities Research Council Leadership Fellow on Heritage for Development. She is the author of the book UNESCO, Cultural Heritage, an Outstanding Universal Value, and also a number of other books on sustainability, globalization, and cultural heritage. In her presentation, she will discuss some major issues relating to sustainable heritage in terms of optimism bias, as well as the social and economic impacts of heritage regeneration for sustainability. So after these 3 keynote lectures, there will be a panel discussion, roughly about 45 minutes, led by Tor Broström, who we have here. And in the panel, maybe everyone who is in the panel can just rise so we can recognize you and identify you as I mention your names. We have, first of all, the keynote lecturers, Sofia Labadi and Calliope Foseki, who have not joined us yet. And then we have Stefan Simon. We have Alison Heritage from ICROM. Is she here yet? Or maybe she will join us later. Okay. Then we have Stefan Nilsson from the National Heritage Board over here. Thank you. And Stavrola Kolfomitsu from Conservation, Department of Conservation at Göteborg University. Okay, she will join us later. Okay. Good. So immediately after the panel discussion, the floor opens up for questions from the audience, and we can have about 30 minutes of open discussion. Lastly, I would wish to thank all the lecturers here today and also the panel members for coming here and giving us some of your time. And thanks also for everyone who has joined us here today. And especially thanks also to the SURF staff, Magnus, Anna, Susanna, Joachim, for the practical arrangements of this day and all the work you put into making this day possible. And I'm sure we will have an interesting day here with lots of ideas to discuss and take with us for the future work here in the forum. So, and with those words, I would like to ask Dr. Simon here to take the floor and take over my microphone here.